All right, so well, both of our panelists manage their own Twitter accounts, actually. I saw you tweeting before this. But that's not the case anymore with the 10th most followed person on Twitter. Until last week, Ashton Kutcher was managing his 8.3 million follower Twitter account on his own. But after an unpopular tweet about Joe Paterno's firing from Penn State, he's decided to include his entire Catalyst media team in filtering what goes into the actor's feed. So over the past year, we've seen the destructive power of one tweet, of course, from Gilbert Gottfried losing his Aflac job to Anthony Weiner losing his political career. So do you think it's a good move that Ashton is putting his whole team on his account so he isn't actually tweeting himself?
Yes, if you can afford a team, you should have that team manage your account. But I just think that everyone's surprised that a celebrity tweeted something basically by being misinformed.
Which happens. It's like one of those, I describe it, those moments you call your friend and you're like, how did that happen? They go, dude, didn't you watch the TV? Put on the news, turn on, go on Google, check out the latest. But it happens so publicly. I mean,
yeah, clearly he's misinformed. I mean, he's not in support of all this Penn State nonsense. But yeah, I mean, because I interview a lot of celebrities at my job, and we're not talking about brain trusts with everyone here. You know, I mean, some celebs that I've interviewed really smart. Ashton, not quite sure, But you think fact checking is kind of a big deal? What, do you know Ashton?
I love Ashton and I love Catalyst, but I do. I'm like overly like PC, but I don't understand why he said he was tweeting for himself, but then the next tweets were from him. So I don't think that he stuck to that.
Well, I think that he saw the reaction, and it kind of freaked him out when everyone reacts like that on your Twitter, and you have like everyone being negative to you. It can freak you out. Does this signify now that he's done this, the end of a Twitter era of celebrities being online and doing it themselves, Sophia?
I think that people need to be as authentic as possible on Twitter, and I think that that's setting an example that it should be brand-based Twitters, and I don't think that that's what we need to be going towards. But I think that end of the day, it was more that who was he following that he like didn't know what was going on. Like I don't know that he went on Twitter and
it almost seems like he just wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah, like how would you not know what that?
The thing is, I mean, Ashton's the reason so many celebrities joined Twitter in the first place. He was the first Twitter user to reach 1 million followers. He had that big race with CNN and he beat that network. And now for him to just leave it, we'll see how long it lasts, but to leave it, I mean, social media was one tool that he really used to build his brand because the acting and producing really didn't, do as much for him as Twitter has.
What also is what made him so accessible, and Twitter accessible to, I would say, even my mom. She goes, oh, Ashton Kutcher, he was like the face of Silicon Valley. So is the joy gone from Twitter now? Is it not fun anymore, Chris?
I think it's still fun. I agree with Sophia. I think if you're gonna manage your own Twitter account, just be authentic, But it also helps to read. So if someone would like to read the news to Ashton Kutcher, then he can have an opinion about that.
That could be an interesting web series.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Like people reading news to Ashton Kutcher, and then he can tweet about what he thinks about things people have read to him.
Well, how do you bounce back from something like this?
I think people will forget it. I mean, look,
100%.
we forgive so much in the United States. I mean, he's going to be fine.
Ashton's going to be fine.
Ashton is going to be fine.
He was going through it.
Yes. Well, as for the reaction on Twitter, Kutcher's 8+K account has maintained his followers. He is fine and is still consistently adding between 11,000 to 12,000 followers each day. Pretty good. And if you think it's too risky to tweet us at what's trending, don't worry. Leave a comment in the chat room or head over to facebook.com/whatstrending.